Hi, this is the airflow. Really big wing aircraft. Look at this behind me. Oh my God, I never see this aircraft before. Let me go find the pilot.
Hi Airflow, my name is Ken Sebesta and this is a Stemi S6 glider. As you notice, its wings are really long. They're 60 feet, so taxiing the airplane is a lot of fun around airports. But when I get up in the air, those 60 feet of wings are awesome because I can turn off the engine and I can glide around for hours at a time just listening to the sound and the wind and looking up and down at the sky and the ground below. The Stemme is made in Germany. Most modern gliders are made in Germany or the eastern countries of Europe. And so this one happens to be from Stuttgart. It's the S6, but also in the US you'll find the Stemme S10 and the S12, which haven't, if you can believe it, have an even larger wingspan. And this airplane is a 35:1 glider ratio, but its S10 and S6 models, S10 and S12 models, have a 60:1 glider ratio.
I wonder, with such a wingspan, can you put in a hangar?
So this is a fun airplane to put into a hangar. There are a few hangars out there which do have 60-foot doors and the airplane fits in just fine. But here's the magic. When I push this up, that little rod right there is a pin. And when I remove that pin, that's the only thing that clamps the wings together. So at that point, I can pick this part of the wing up and I can take the entire thing off. And from here to the other side, it's only 20 feet wide. So it'll fit in any hangar at all. And I can do the same thing with the tail. One screw is the only pin. It's very rigidly attached, but the beauty of the mechanism is it's all held in place by the magic of a single solid steel rod. And I can take it off, and then I can disassemble the entire airplane, fit it anywhere I want. It's not hard at all to take the wing off. You take this one pin out and you slide the wing out and you disconnect the ailerons and the flaps, and then it's done. The hardest part about it is it's such a long wing. It takes two people, one at the wingtip, one here at the spar, to move it around. But it's not that heavy. It's maybe 120 pounds total.
So Ken, how do you choose this plane? I mean, are you a glider pilot first?
I am a glider pilot. I spent a long time looking at the different kinds of gliders. I live in Boston, and unfortunately the closest glider clubs are really far away, several hours by car. And it's not convenient or even easy when you have an airplane but not a car to get out to these glider clubs. So I spent a lot of time and research, and I found that this was the perfect airplane for me. I'm a glider instructor, and I wanted to teach the next generation of students how to fly gliders. In addition, I'm a professor at Boston University, and so I want my students to have access to aviation. And they unfortunately don't have access when the airport is far out of town and requires a car. So this was something that I found that I was sure that I could teach someone. It's a beautiful airplane, it flies incredibly well, and it flies like a glider. The wing is behind the cockpit, so when you're flying along, you can look out your window on either side, you can stare right down the wing, and you can see if there's other airplanes in the same thermal as you are. Because it can happen that you have 5, 10, even 15 airplanes all flying around each other. So it was really important to have a model where the wing was behind the fuselage and was behind the pilot and not underneath the pilot or on top. The engine is actually back here. It's a tiny Rotax engine, and it's just enough to get the airplane off the ground. So I can get up in the sky and I can turn the engine off and I can feather the propeller. I can turn it flat so the plane glides really well. And the magic is the engine's back here, the propeller's up front, and in between the two is a carbon fiber drive shaft.
You must catch lots of attention when you fly in different airports.
Yeah, this is a really neat airplane. It does catch a lot of attention because most people aren't used to seeing gliders. Usually when people see an airplane, they think of something like a Cessna or a Stemme.
Have a hangar?
Parking brake helps.
Oh, yeah, that would.
You can definitely go a little tighter on yours and make space for Erica. Although she probably won't be down to stop and serving.
Yeah.
She doesn't have air brakes.
Do you have a special hangar?
No. Although the people I bought it from did actually have a hangar built just for it.
Do you hangar this one?
Yeah.
I wish.
I've seen this at Mansfield.
You have?
I fly a Pipistrel.
Oh, yeah, neat.
Yeah. Does this have the 914?
It does.
Yeah, nice.
How long are your wings?
Well, I've got the SW. I've got the short. They make a flex version where you can add.
You don't have the extra. Yeah. I really love the Pipistrels. I went up with Stemme in part because I wanted to do training.
That's why. Oh yeah.
Because I want to get the Glider Club rekindled at Mansfield.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So the Pipistrel is a wonderful glider, but it's not a wonderful glider for learning to glide because, of course, you can't go join the gaggle with other airplanes because your wing's on top. So this is awesome where the wing's behind you. So it's the sight line Because I don't want people to learn to fly Stemme, I want people to learn to fly glider, and the Stemme happens to be the convenient way of getting up in the air.
I've never seen a Stemme like this with the tri-gear and the...
Well, there's a reason. There's only 3 of them in the United States.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the other 2 are out west. Yeah.
There used to be one at Hampton.
That was probably one of the 3. So there's the S6, which was a failure of a model. There's only, like, that's the one there's only 3 in the US. The S10 was completely successful. So there's a version of
I see the exhaust,
the
yes.
prop on the front.
I know, but is it run a generator?
You can see the seam right there.
No, it's not electric. So it was a drive shaft. Yeah.
Oh, there is a drive shaft?
Is that a gearbox behind the front?
If I need to. Yeah. So for instance, if storms come along, I'll take the wings out of because the wing afterwards is it's only like 20 feet long.
Well, I've seen that.
So I can either leave it outside with 20 foot wide wings and it's not going to fly anywhere, or if it does fly somewhere, the tornado is going to level the hangars anyway.
Now, do you forget? I put the engine on idle.
This one is so cool. Look at this one. So what do you call this one?
It's a version that is only 3 of the tricycle gear in the U.S.
Okay, because they used to have a motor on one time.
Never the stem.
No,
but they had yeah, the nose was forward, and the engine was unfolded, which is an awesome airplane. You do if you have an S10 or S12 because it's a 400-hour TBO on the propeller.
I don't know.
Oh, on the prop?
Yeah,
really.
And the only people in the world who can service the proper in Germany, and there's only one person who can do it, and they only just got their repairman certificate for the U.S. So until then, you had to buy a brand new prop every 400 hours.
So this has a carbon fiber shaft?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Wow. So the little bitty 914 hides under the.
Is it geared?
Yeah.
Gear ratio?
There's the 914 is geared, and then there's a gear on top of the gear.
Oh, damn.
So it's all very complex and properly German.
So once you turn off the engine, once you get to the altitude, you're essentially committed.
When you're at 40,000 feet, you go cross country from this coast to the other coast.
35 to 1 glide ratio, yeah, that would be about 280 miles glide with in calm air.
Oh,
Yeah.
Once you get out to the altitude,
like I can and have turned the engine on in the air, but when was the last time you thought about your starter as a life-critical device?
Yeah.
Right? What about your master relay as a life-critical device?
See, that's not 2 strokes, you get a rope.
Yeah. So, like, it's been reliable, but
Hey,
usually
everything is subject to failure.
everything's subject to failure. Nobody tests their starter motor. If your starter motor or your fuel pump fails, you're like, I guess I'm not flying today.
Yeah,
But I might be in a
miles to
situation
think
where
about
I'm
where you're going to
flying.
land, though, at least.
so you really, once you turn off the engine to glide, you're committed to flying it as a glider.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I do have outs, but I would take those outs above an airport at least 3,500 feet.
Yeah.
And I'd want the engine on and running by 2,500.
And you get 35 to 1 with this too.
Yeah.
Welcome
Amazing.
to Crow Island.
Thank you.
I expect to see you 100 more times.
Well, you're not far from Mansfield.
Oh, you're in Mansfield?
I am.
Oh, wow, okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
How could there be a Stemme in Mansfield? I didn't know about
It
it.
hides under its covers.
Are you going to give us a demonstration, taking off and turning the engine off and then landing?
Oh, yeah, would you?
If we're sure, so the problem with the glider is you're committed.
Well, we'll tell everybody on the radio.
Come on. I'm seeing clouds starting to pop, okay?
Well, you know,
No
it's
pressure.
a little
I don't
turbulent
wanna
out
get
there.
it.
No,
I don't wanna get any
I fly
pressure.
out of a 2,000 foot grass strip. That's, you know, I was engine on because I wasn't sure if I'd be encountering ultralights and other
Yeah.
tornadoes.
Now you're 35 to 1?
Roughly.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the pipist?
And you cruise, what do you
Roughly
cruise
the
at?
same. With the engine on, about 105 knots.
105 knots?
With the engine on.
Okay.
With it off, like 51 knots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing how much engine you need to make an airplane go.
Yeah.
And they've got a pip stroll here.
Our pipistrel is, we idle at 100 knots on 1.5. That must be what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably, I'd be surprised if Pipistrel isn't a little faster.
Well, if you want to cruise the Pipistrel, it's 132 knots, 5
Well,
gallons.
there we go.
Because I only have 35-foot wings.
Ah.
But I am 15 to 1, and that's plenty good enough to thermal.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to do some thermaling in it. It's not a motor glider, it's a light sport. So, so Tabor and I are light sport CFIs, and
good.
And we can fly it and get insurance on it easily without having a self-launch that you have. I'm a glider pilot, so I could get a self-launch easily, I'm sure. But
do you want it today? I'm a CFI.
There you go.
Yeah.
You mean you take me up in
I
this?
could do it in the Pipistrel. I got my endorsement in a Tomahawk.
Tomahawk? How do you soar those?
Well, you don't, but it's a low end. What the endorsement is not about soaring; it's about taking off. And the things that you need to know on a takeoff in a glider is that you're low energy, you're low power, you're low performance. And if your engine fails, what's your
itinerary?
200 right.
Well,
or whatever.
If you're a pure glider and you have no drag, in a motor glider you want to be at 300.
Tabor and I got our glider ratings down at Seminole.
Yeah.
Back, I don't know how many years ago. Yeah. I have a new hip. I wouldn't be able to do it today, but I'll take you up on it. I want to go for a ride in this.
It's no doubt. The only difference is a little bit noisier because the engine's right behind your head.
Oh, okay.
Is this side by side?
Yeah, tandem seating.
It's beautiful.
So that's the magic of modern aerodynamics. It weighs more than Citabria, but it climbs faster than Citabria, flies faster than Citabria, has a higher G-load rating, plus or minus than Citabria, carries more wind than Citabria. In the US, it's registered as a glider, so we only have about 400-pound payload. In Europe, it's registered as an S15, and it's a 2,500-pound maximum takeoff. How big a fuel tank is it carry? 35 gallons.
This does? That's a lot of
35 gallons?
You could fly to California.
Yeah, exactly. Range is 1,000 nautical miles.
Wow.
You know, on a Rotax, 65 an hour, 7 hours.
Of course, your bladder's only about a liter, so don't forget that.
Yeah, that's kind of it, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the ballast for the sailplane.
Going past 2 hours is already a little challenge.
Where's the water jug?
That's what that little hose is. Just jumping.
There's a lot of gliders where that's the case.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make sure the hose goes behind the landing gear. Uric acid is not great.
So, all the long runs, they're all carbon.
Everything's carbon. There's way too much of it in this airplane.
Way too much of it?
Yeah, this airplane is massively overbuilt.
Really?
You know, it's in Europe, it's a surveillance aircraft, so it's designed to carry 1,000 pounds of load. An endurance of 7 or 8 hours.
This is right into the season, September.
We did have a shaft.
And then Hamas, another person at our airport, who's in this plane. Oh no, not that plane. Has
Yeah. This little screwdriver is enough to take care of the entire airplane. It's otherwise.
Don't tell me.
They'll spread that word around and that scares off potential pilots.
It's all pinned after that. The wing isn't even screwed on at all. The wing is just held in place by a pin on the front side of it, and the pin is held in place by a spring.
Really?
So there's the engine, just this part. That's it.
Oh, that's a 912?
See the engine, 914? Well, 912 with a turbo.
I don't see how it's. Well, the 912-14 is the 912 ULS.
Is that the front of the engine is facing back?
The 912.
Paper.
I don't see
Is this the jugs here?
ULS, so yeah.
I'm not seeing where the engine is.
It's underneath.
So is it the jugs facing this way?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So
So it's
that's-
horizontal.
So
Okay.
that's the fireproofing right there.
Okay,
And then
alright.
the cylinder is that big.
Okay.
It blows your mind.
Cylinder, 2 cylinders.
Four.
Oh, 4 cylinders. Okay, you said cylinder. I'm thinking,
The one, and the other one is up here.
oh, okay.
They're not. I'm not kidding. They're
Yeah.
not that far apart.
Yeah. We have one of the trikes.
2011.
Liquid heads, liquid cooled
It does
heads.
as many hours. 150.
Interesting. Yeah, this landing gear is a little more substantial than I would have expected, you know?
Yeah, look at it. Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty robust.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Is it a direct drive?
It's got a shaft drive.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
got a
but
shaft.
it's a direct drive.
No, it's definitely geared.
Oh, that's right. You spit it like 500 RPM. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
have to
definitely got a gear.
They have a farm out in interesting town. The sad story is the guy bought it and instead
Those engines are so great too.
That's the turbo version, right?
Yeah, this is actually they make the 914 out of an 80 horse. They turbocharge.
They turbocharge it 80 horse out. Yeah.
And make it into this. So it's 115 horse.
Sensitive.
But he
What would
says
be a good, simple little video for us to
come up here to the front and I'll show you another miracle of German engineering.
As a glider.
no. I mean, power it'll climb up, then shut it off and glide 200 miles. You know?
You have to be IFR.
Right.
Yeah. Oxygen's back here in the although I use an oxygen concentrator.
You've taken this up to how many feet?
I've cruised for the Eclipse. I went up to 18,000, shut off the engine north of Burlington, and had a 360 camera on the wingtip and filmed the totality. So this is coming up. And this is a wonderful little machine. There's one here. The guy who just somewhere out there is a Slingsby, and he has one as well. And
So you're talking about
it's like $300.
$300?
Yep. And here it goes. So set an altitude, and then turn that on. And so this is what's neat.
Turn!
So that sound, you're not hearing a speaker. You're hearing the airplane fuselage vibrate. I have attached what's called an exciter to the fuselage. So let me see if I can get somebody to do Car Island radio check. So that's the actual plastic vibrating. There's a little itty bitty way up there, little bitty exciter.
Oh, I can see the speaker right
So
there.
it's not a speaker, and it reflects off the entire canopy, so it's the voice of God speaking to you. And when you're flying as a glider, and you're using the boom mic, and you don't have the headphones on, it's great. It's absolutely great. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is my little Vario, and I can switch it.
So what's the Vario that's in it?
It is an XC Vario from.
So it has audio up and down.
Yeah, and so it'll do the night beep 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 beep. Has all kinds of compensations.
Does it have to hook to anything else in the airplane? Or how does it? What does it do?
It would need to hook to your pitot static because it will also give you true airspeed.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's
Stick
a,
thermals.
Yeah, so you can if you have a
Compensator.
a compensator, right?
Yeah.
You need an actual secondary pitot system for that.
Okay.
But it works extremely well. You can configure it to know if you have flaps.
What's the name of it?
XC Vario, as in cross country.
XC.
Vario.
Who makes it?
$300.
I think XC Vario.
Oh, really?
I think that's their only product.
Wow.
Well, because all they do is make this little variometer.
Yeah.
But it works exceptionally well. It's super easy to install. It's open source software, so it gets
And
firmware
it's
updates.
12 volt?
12 volts, ties or to 24, ties into your GPS so it can tell you.
This is a huge canopy.
It's got a wide side by side. It's huge. Yeah. I don't know if it's as wider than your Pipstro or not, Rob. Do you think?
I don't know.
Well, we have
I
drive
think you
shaft
got
in the way.
quite the
All I know is when I get in another month or so, when my hip's good, I want to ride in this thing. Do it for me.
Well, would you believe that when Stemme sold this airplane, the steps right here, the one by your knee, that is an optional upgrade?
Get out.
I don't know how they thought you were going to get in this airplane, a running
Without
jump.
it. Yeah. Exactly.
But you can't sit here because your head hits the canopy. So how did they expect me to get in the airplane? Well, you kind of got to go.
Really. You need a crane.
Right. You kind of,
Yeah,
I'm
that's interesting.
surprised they leave this thing out instead of.
So
having
what
it
did
fold in.
that?
Do you see how the wheel pants actually drop? So that you get that extra little bit of efficiency in the air.
Wow. Okay.
When they put the step in, how did it affect the glide?
Probably negatively, but I suspect there's a lot of turbulence up there already from the propeller.
Yeah.
Most of the glide is coming from these beautiful wings.
Yeah. Now the wings, will they fold or they have to be removed?
They get removed.
They do get removed?
And it's part of the reason why this wasn't a commercial success.
Yeah.
Because nobody figured out a good way to remove the wings.
Really?
So that you could taxi the airplane around.
Like Pipistrel does on the last 7 feet of each wing. They takes off in 1 minute, you know?
Yeah.
Now talk to me about fuel. What are you doing for fuel?
914, so same as the same fuel burn as another Rotax. So
you're using 100 or not?
I am going to Falmouth Air Park and getting some of their sweet UL94, so I don't have to run.
Because we're supposed to not use car gas in our wing tanks.
Because of the ethanol.
Because the ethanol.
Because of the ethanol, so we have to use pretty much under it.
Av fuel.
I think we're using what do you call it to put it in the.
You have to use the TSP, which is toxic, or the Decalin.
They say they want Decalin because they don't like what TCP does to your inside of your tank.
Yeah.
So they want Decalin and not that for the plastic tanks.
So some Lockhart Aviation, Phil Lockhart, I think, he had an interesting talk, and I don't know if he's correct, but he believes that Decalin can suspend lead, which we know it can do, which can then melt while it's being burned, and you have a turbo, it starts coating things.
Ooh.
And so I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of terrifying to think that my $5,000 turbo might get killed by the thing that I'm using to not kill my slipper,
one's
my
fighting the other.
clutch. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to just every couple months go and fill up on UL94.
Yeah. So that's MoGas, right?
No, it's the Swift aviation gas.
Swift aviation?
Yeah.
The new stuff?
Yeah.
No lead.
No, it's not that new. It's